Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I decided to do a makeup tutorial. I was thinking of doing a smoky eye, kind of inspired by my shirt because, you know, why not? I love green, it's my favorite color and I think it looks beautiful on everything. But without further ado, let's get started. Starting today, I'm going to be taking my BHA liquid exfoliant from Natrium. This is some great stuff and I just really like to apply this before my makeup or just any liquid exfoliant. You don't have to do this every time. I don't do this all the time, but I do like to do this for when I want my makeup and my base just in general to look really, really pretty throughout the day. The product that I will be using today is going to be the Precisely My Brow pencil from Benefit, and this one is actually a really, really fine product. It's super tiny. I don't know if it'll focus, but it's super tiny, and this right here just, I mean, this will give you those hair-like strokes that you're looking for if that's what you're looking for. So I'm gonna fill my brows in really quick. Since this isn't a tutorial about my brows, I'm gonna kind of speed over this part, and once I'm done, I will come back and we will get started on the eyeshadow. Brows are complete. I did carve them out with my NARS. I think this is in the shade Light 2.3. And this is the Soft Matte Complete Concealer. I love this concealer for carving out my brows. The angled brush in 089 and the spoolie in 090. I love this brush so much. When it comes to carving out my brows, this is the best brush. It picks up the product beautifully, and I don't even know how to explain it. You'd have to use it for you to see what I'm talking about. To prep my brows, what I tend to do is I take a concealer and I take a eye primer. I have very oily lids, so if I don't prime my lids, the product will move throughout the day and it is actually awful. So today the concealer that I will be using is going to be my Tarte Shape Tape. This is in the Radiant one, and this is in the shade 22N Light Neutral. So I'm just gonna put that quickly over my eyes, and I just did way too much on this one, but that's fine. I'll just take this beauty blender and just kind of blend that out. You don't need a lot of concealer or a really heavy duty one. You just need a concealer underneath if you have oily lids. This just kind of helps prevent your oils from mixing with the eye primer and for that product to not really move around. I have this issue way too often, and it's not even funny when I say that my products will move around really bad. And towards the end of the night, not only will I have creases of oil impeding my eyeshadows from coming through, but what it will do is that it'll just kind of glide down and you'll see my eyeshadow like all the way down here, or it's transferred to the bottom. Of course, this is just dependent. Not every single oily lid is the same, but this is what works for me and has worked for me for so long, ever since I've started makeup, I think. And I love to do this technique because it just keeps everything in place all day. The primer that I'm going to be using today is the Rare Beauty. This is the Weightless, I think, primer. This is what it looks like. It's nothing too great. I would definitely say if you have extremely oily lids like I do not use this primer on its own. If for me, I noticed that I still had a lot of transfer and that it moved the products around way too much. Let me grab my brush. I'm going to be taking the Rare Beauty concealer brush. No surprise here. This is my favorite brush to move around any products that are going to be on my lids or just in general for concealer. This is a fantastic brush. I love this kind of like angled, I don't know, it's just a beautiful brush. And she did say, I think in a couple of, I don't know if it was like interviews but I've seen videos where she talks about her makeup brand and she speaks on how she loves this brush because it's meant to mimic your ring finger. So it's meant to have that really gentle but, you know, firm kind of touch to it where it could easily blend out your products, but it's not disrupting anything underneath. And I can't recommend this brush enough. I actually think that I might need to use something to kind of hold back my hair. These are creaseless clips from Claire's. Ooh, I didn't mean to do that. And they're so nice. Like, I wasn't expecting to like them as much as I do, but I love them. Going to be taking my LYS. This is in the shade... Oh, this is just the translucent setting powder. Okay. We're going to take this is from that same collection that I was talking about before from Real Techniques. This is the brush 087, and this is just a little smudge brush, but I'm going to be using it to pack the product on. So we're going to start with that Sable shade. Sable? I think. Sable in the Kylie Cosmetics palette. And I'm just going to pack this right here. We're not going to move it upward or anything. We're just going to pack. And this doesn't have to be perfect, but I would recommend kind of keeping it in this vicinity. Don't really move it forward. Once we start blending, it will move, believe me. I'm going to take this kind of pencil brush from BH Cosmetics. I'm pretty sure they don't make these anymore, but we're gonna go in with Button Nose from the Frosty the Snowman palette. You don't really have to use obviously this exact palette, just find what works for you. But we're gonna take that little pencil like brush and kind of brush it in the crease with that black. And I'm gonna grab a lot of it. What we're doing here is just trying to diffuse a little bit of that black and push it upward without it being too intense. We're not trying to make it just a whole black eye, if that makes sense. I'm gonna bring this up closer to me because I almost can't see what I'm doing. So I blended really like what I want. So now I'm gonna start blending this side. And you want to keep this right in the crease above that black. We don't want to disrupt the black that we have in our eyelid. We want to keep going, moving upward towards the crease. We are in the crease now, but we want to stay there. And all I'm doing is kind of like circular motions. So all you want to see is your hand going like this all the way. As you move that in, you keep doing that as you go forward, and this will help. You never want to start here because you'll just get the makeup everywhere, and then it'll get right here, especially in this little inner corner. As soon as you get shadow here, it's kind of hard to take it away or diffuse it, and then it just looks like someone punched you basically. So you want to stay away from doing that. So we're just gonna keep blending this, and it takes a moment. It takes like 5 minutes. Just keep blending, be patient. This isn't something that you can just kind of slap on and be done. You want to take your time and move the shadows. So now that I've kind of done that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a very fluffy blending brush. And you don't want it to be too fluffy. There's different kinds of blending brushes that you could use. And before you hit this top part right here, you want to start with something this is a little denser, but it's also bigger. Whereas this is not as dense. If I press down, and I'm doing the same pressure. See that? It immediately kind of like splits in half. So you want to use this because you do want this part to be fluffy. Now we are going to take that Always Very Merry color right here, and you want to lightly tap, maybe like 3 taps, and just tap off some of that excess. Not 1, 2, 3, don't keep tapping. You still want to keep some of that formula in there. So now blend. And it's the same thing, back and forth, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. We didn't even do that much, but you can already tell the biggest difference that it made. Back into this, 1, 2, 3. I tapped 3 times on the eyeshadow, so 1, 2, 3. And then we're gonna tap 1 time, just once. And, oop, I was about to start on this one. We're still here. So keep blending. And this is diffusing that gray. We don't want to immediately start to diffuse a black. You want to keep going lighter as you go up, otherwise it will not work. And now I'm going a little in the crease because I want to grab some of that gray and kind of move it with me. And what I'm doing here is going like this, but I'm still doing like an oval. Like I'm going like this, but small ovals. Oval, 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 oval. Very small ovals. I don't know how to explain it. This is the best way to kind of explain it. But you can see as I'm going through, that's what I'm doing. Back and forth. And we really diffuse that gray beautifully. And you can still go ahead and kind of like come to this front part here with that fluffy brush, and we're gonna blend out some of that black. But as you're doing this, you still want to stay in that vicinity. Don't move anything forward until you really have to. Look at how beautifully diffused that is. And it looks like the black is all over, but now what we've created is kind of a gradient. It's our base onto that black, and it looks gorgeous. So keep doing that, where you're gonna grab that shadow, and I'm not applying a lot of pressure. The closer you are to the brush, the more pressure that you're applying. You never need to hold a blending brush like this. Otherwise, you will apply too much pressure and too much product, and you're gonna have this whole mess. So again, at the end of the brush, where you're so, excuse me, you're gonna keep it at the end of the brush like how I have it here. And just hold it however it works best for you. This is just me, but here what I'm doing, I'm still doing those oval circular motions, but I'm not moving past this part of my crease. You see that first crease that I have right there? I'm not moving past that. I'm staying right here. And I'm going back and forth very lightly. Obviously, I'm already very used to doing this, so I go a lot heavy-handed because I know what pressure I need. I know what pressure works for me. And now what we're gonna do is start on the other eye. So same thing as that I explained before, you're gonna grab that transition shade. That's what it is. You're using a gradient to kind of keep going up. So I still feel like this part right here is very, very dark still, which is not a bad thing, but I want it to be a lot lighter. So I'm only gonna tap twice. I don't need as much product now because I've diffused it very, very well. Tap once. And now I'm gonna start pushing out as a V. I love doing the V method because it kind of diffuses everything nicely without dragging it down your face. So the more I start dragging this shadow down, the more my eyes are going to look drooped. And obviously we're gonna clean this up later on, but sometimes you can just do this with eyeshadow by yourself. When it comes to smoky eyes, I personally haven't learned how to do that. I always kind of make a mess where it goes kind of past this little like inner duct right here, outer duct, sorry. So I haven't learned how to do that, so I still clean up my makeup. But again, we're gonna go as far as we can on the brush and remain light. So up, so you're gonna go from this inner duct upward, and then you're gonna go back up this way, but very lightly. You don't want to apply too much pressure, because again, you will apply too much product and it's gonna look bad. So keep going back and forth. So first I'm starting up, and then I'm going this way, and then back down, and then up, and then back down, and up. And look at how much more we've diffused that. And now up here, that is where you would need like a bigger blending brush, and you will not use this with any product. This is just up here, very, very high up. Look at how high up I am right there. And just keep doing that. We're just trying to diffuse what's left of all those colors. This would be going a different route if you were using a little bit more black and whatnot. So now we are gonna go in with that frosty hat, because I do want to get a little bit of the shimmer in there. But the good thing about something like this, like a little smudger brush or something that's very small, is that you can really get in here without disrupting anything that you've done. But I'm still gonna keep it. I have two little creases. If you can see, this first crease right here is where I'm going to apply this. And I'll show you what I mean right now. So just like this. Again, we're not going too far, because you will apply too much product and then you're gonna be mad that you messed it up. And this is very easy to mess up. So it sucks to say, but this will take a lot of skill and it'll take some time for you to learn. And same thing, it matters what brushes you're using. This is why I'm explaining like which brush I'm using, how I'm doing it, because it matters a lot. So I'm gonna go back in with that pencil brush that we initially used. And for this one, I do kind of hold it in the center because I wanna control that shadow. I don't wanna diffuse it anywhere else. I wanna keep it right here. So now that we're going back in, we're not going on top of what we just did. We're going on the outer part of what we just did. And very lightly, you're just gonna go around. And I'm doing the same thing where I'm just like lightly brushing it. What I'm trying to do is bring it into that inner corner without bringing it too far in. And you can already tell what a big difference we've made, because I have this eye that I still haven't completed, but you can tell everything that we've done, and it doesn't look like, you know, we have eyeshadow just rolling everywhere. Something I used to hate about Smokey eye tutorials is that people wouldn't really explain what brushes they were using and how they were doing things. And unfortunately, I had to learn by myself kind of along the way what worked and what didn't work. And it was really hard because I started getting into makeup when I was like 12, 11 years old. And that was a really hard world to navigate, because sometimes, you know, people aren't the best at explaining, but especially explaining it to a child. So now I'm gonna go back into that last fluffy brush that I was using, and we're gonna do the same thing. But this time we're gonna go to a little bit more in the crease and bring it up. Because I know that I've moved that shadow around. And I'm not gonna keep going this way. We're done here. We're gonna leave it as is, because we're also gonna apply more shadow in there in just a little bit. And that's that. We diffused what we could. We're leaving that alone, and we're going back in with that fluffy brush. Where did I put it? Oh, right here. So we're going back in with that fluffier brush, and now we're gonna go a little further into the crease, so kind of like right here. Before we were staying up here, right here, and just back and forth. And now upward. And I see just a smidge right here. I'm noticing that there's kind of like a line there, and I haven't fully blended that out. And you may not notice that, but I'm very close to my mirror right here so I can see exactly what's happening. And I'm just gonna keep diffusing that just in this little spot. I'm gonna keep doing that little oval motion. It's that back and forth, but I'm doing like a little oval back and forth. I'm content with that. And again, up here, just in case we kind of move too much of the shadows. Now I'm gonna do this eye off camera, and you'll be able to see everything that I've done and how I've diffused it. And yeah, I will be back. I finished off with the other eye. As you can tell, I went a little bit farther here, so it's just like all over the place. But this is exactly why I end up cleaning up my makeup afterwards, because of stuff like this. Like, it kind of like gets down, and sometimes it just happens. Like, I accidentally grabbed this and then I flicked, and then the eyeshadow just went all over the place. So this is why I like to do my eyeshadows first, especially if I'm doing like a really, you know, hefty tutorial kind of like this. So now for the fun part and my favorite part, we're gonna go in with that shade from the 35V palette, this shade right here, and I'm just so excited to apply this. And I'm gonna do this with my fingers, nothing else. I will use a little bit of the smudging brush to kind of move it around, but we're gonna get our ring finger and we're just gonna go into that shadow, and look at how pretty that is. You guys might not be able to see it all too well because my light turned off and it's not gonna turn back on. So we're just gonna leave it as is. And now I'm just gonna apply this gently above that black. Look at how rich and pretty this looks. As you're moving it towards the inner corner, you wanna be really gentle and use this part of your ring finger. So this is where the shadows are. This is the part you're going to want to use to kind of blend it in there, because you're not trying to apply the full product onto that inner corner, only a little bit. So be very intentional with what you're trying to do, but very careful because it could mess up the whole thing. So you see how I'm kind of like pushing it backward very gently. I'm not doing this with a lot of pressure, and I'm kind of like blending with my finger. For now, other ring finger. Now we're gonna take that smudge brush and slightly just take it on that product, and what you're gonna do is with the just like this. So pretend this is the eye. You're just gonna go in like a little C above your eye, like that, back and forth. And remember, never in that inner corner. So same thing, we're gonna go back and apply that, and then go in that little C, and nowhere near that inner corner, just towards the center. And you can see how much more product it applied. And I'm not gonna take the same one. This has too much product. So if I go back in with this, what's gonna happen is that it's gonna apply way too much product. So we're gonna find a finer and smaller brush. So this is also kind of like a pencil brush type of situation, but it's still a blending brush, if that makes sense. And then we're just gonna go here gently, otherwise you're gonna risk messing everything you just worked for really fast. So keep going, and give this about 5 minutes. I'm telling you, time yourself blending if you have to, but you need to be patient, and sometimes 2 minutes of blending isn't going to do anything. Sometimes it does. And again, this brush has no product on it. We're just blending. We're just having a good time here. And this right here is about a minute or so. It's going to be a long video because blending is the key for everything to look beautiful. Going on the other side, Still have a little bit of product on there, but not enough to mess up the other eye. Let's do the same thing. Give it about a minute. I'm gonna go back in that, I'm not gonna go back into this. I'm gonna take another blending brush, but this one is flatter than the last one we used. Sorry, it has like glitter. This one is a flat one versus that first one that we used was so big and fluffy. This one is a lot more tapered at the sides. And what we're gonna do with that is that we're gonna take a shade that's a little closer to my skin. So we're gonna go in with kind of a little bit of this one and mix it in with that one. I'm pretty fair sometimes, but especially my eyelids, like my eyelids are pretty fair. And remember, so I did 2 on one of the colors and 2 on the other and tap. And now I'm gonna take that tapered part and I'm gonna go to where that initial like pink type of transition color that we initially used. And I'm just gonna blend a little bit up here for a second. Just for a sec. And now I'm gonna do the same thing. Tap once. This one needs it more because I didn't take my time like I took my time on this one. And feel free to bring it to this little crease right here without touching that black. Light motions. The eyeshadow is complete. Now that that portion is complete, we can get on to kind of talking about like if you wanted to do eyeliner with this, if you didn't want to do eyeliner with this. I personally am not going to put any eyeliner with it. I'm just going to pop on some lashes and do some eyeliner inside of my... Why can't I speak today? I feel like I'm struggling so much to talk. I'm going to be taking my Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeliner. This one is the waterproof gel liner in Dark Side. This eyeliner is phenomenal. If you've never tried this, I urge you to try it if you love black eyeliner or just in general gel black eyeliners. So this is what she looks like. This is so good. I mean, this does not budge. It does not move. No matter what you do, you could cry forever and this will not move. And it also brings a little sharpener at the bottom to sharpen that gel liner, which I never really use personally, but I'm just gonna tight line really quick. And a mistake that I used to make very, very often, especially when I first started makeup, was that I would bring it all the way in here, right here in this little crease. Everything that would come out of my, like all the eye boogers and stuff would mess up my makeup right here, just because I was applying so much eyeliner there and it had nowhere to go. And it's gonna move to that area throughout the day. So there's no reason for you to really be doing that. I'm gonna be taking my Garnier micellar water to clean this up. And I love micellar water just because it removes makeup really, really nicely. You really don't need a whole lot of this, but I'm just gonna kind of put it on that Q-tip. Next part is the base, and I love the base. It's my favorite part. I don't know. I love foundation, the way it makes my skin look and feel, and it's just beautiful. So I have the Professional Light Primer here. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the biggest fan of this, but I want to get rid of it. I tried it out and it just looks like little, I'm not gonna pick that up. It looks like little worms on my hands. And I'm just gonna put this here kind of in my cheeks. And the reason I'm using this today is because I want something for my pores, but I also want something, I also, like I said, I want to get rid of it already. So it's not that it's bad. I think the original one is just my favorite. And I'll tell you, it begins to pill if you continue to push and push and push the product into your skin. For our base today, what we're gonna use is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. This is in the shade 2N2 Buff, and I love this shade. It is finally summer here. Summer in quotations because it's so cold at night. So I can finally use this because it's my summer shade and it was just not working for me. And today I'm going to use the NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum in the shade Vanilla. This concealer says that it's a medium coverage, but I really feel that it's a full coverage. I feel that way about it. It's phenomenal. So what we're going to do is we've let that kind of sit on our skin for about a minute or two. And today I'm going to take my IT Cosmetics foundation brush. This one is in the number 77. It's called the Airbrush Full Coverage Complexion Brush. It's true. It is beautiful. The way that it just applies product to your skin is, so we're just going to apply that directly onto the skin. And this is a full coverage foundation. If you are not a full coverage kind of person, you will not like this. Just beware. Now that I've applied the foundation to my skin, I'm going to go in with a beauty blender. And the reason I kind of do this is because I usually have a really hard time using a brush around my forehead for some reason. So the concealer that I'll be using today is going to be the NYX Bear With Me Concealer, which I did say this before. I love this concealer. It gives you, for me, it's kind of like a dupe for this like a radiant one. They are so on par with the kind of formulation that they have. It looks so beautiful under the skin. But now that the base is complete, I'm gonna go in with my Live Tinted blush. This is in the shade Perk, and it's a kind of rosy, but it's also pretty orangey. So I'm gonna use this, and I'm just taking this brush. This is from the Ulta collection. It's their newer brushes, and this was supposed to be a contour foundation brush. It's brush 102, but this one I really like it for blush. And of course today we're going to be using my Stay Beauty Sun Melt Natural Cream Bronzer. This is in the shade Light Bronze. I do think I need a shade darker. So I'm going to be taking my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. I love this powder. We're going to take our beauty blender and we're going to blend underneath those little creases in our eyes. We're gonna go back in with our LYS Triple Fix setting powder. I'm just gonna take this big fluffy angled brush. I love angled brushes like for everything. I don't use any brush properly besides maybe like eyeshadow brushes. So I'm just gonna put this all over my face. Now that we've done that, what I want to do is brush my eyebrows upward and just kind of take any excess product that they might have off of them. Product that I'm going to take today is my MAC Fix It Plus. This is key to making sure that everything stays locked in. I'm going to take that same beauty blender. We have a little bit of the powder kind of still there, and we're going to go on just our under eyes. I'm going to take my e.l.f. bronzer. This is the Bronzed Beauty bronzer palette. I don't know how many different shades they make of this. I think it's like 3 of them, which they need to level up on that, because this is nice, don't get me wrong, it's really pretty, but I think e.l.f. doesn't have a lot of powder products that are for different skin types, I would say. This is an old palette. This is the Vanilla Peach Truffle palette. This is from BH Cosmetics, and this palette has these 2 beautiful shades right here. I'm going to use both of these. I'm going to take a very fluffy brush. This is the Real Techniques blush brush in the number 400, and I'm not going to take those pink ones. I'm just going to take this orange one right here. Now I'm going to use my NARS Orgasm blush, and I got this as a free gift. I think it was at Sephora for one of my birthdays. Oh my god, the glow is just everything. I've decided we're going to use my Eyelure London Luxe Silk lashes, and I think these are in the they're called Royal. These are so pretty. They're only like the end lashes. I don't know what that's called, but you only put them kind of like on the outer corner, and they look really pretty. Before we do that, mascara I'm using today, Roller Lash from Benefit. Lashes are on, and this looks spectacular. I'm just like so in love with the way that this looks, and I'm even thinking of adding like a little bit of glitter kind of in the center of my eyes, but I love the way that this has turned out already. But I did a couple of things. So of course I had to finish my brows off, and I used my Slick Day Brow from Urban Decay. This is so wonderful. This is so similar to the NYX Brow Glue. Oh my god, beautiful formulation, except you don't have to like hold anything down. I kind of like that fluffy look. But now onto lip combo. The NYX Suede Matte Lip Liner, and this is in the shade Sandstorm. I love this. I decided to go with the NYX This Is Milky Gloss. I just feel like these 2 in combo look so pretty together. This is the completed look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. This was so fun. I haven't done eyeshadow in so long, especially a smoky eye, and I feel so good about it. Like it looks so pretty with the look, with the hair, with everything. My like hair is doing something today. Like it's not, these are like pressed down really well, and then this one's not. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video and just kind of inspiring me to get into makeup a little bit more this week. I'm so happy, and there's definitely a bunch more videos coming out. Love that you guys stopped by for this makeup tutorial. I hope you guys try this out for yourselves and just have fun. Bye.